because we're Filipino, we always think of our family, our extended family. We always think that our children are going to live with us forever and ever. So when they come to us and want us to design a home, sometimes there's just too many rooms, too many requirements. But I think architecture should always be kind of fluid, and whether it's built for a certain lifestyle now, one can never predict what will happen in the future.
Right.
And so you can't, it's really hard to plan so far ahead because you can't control life that way.
Right. Today we are talking to Anna C., creative designer of CS Designs, a firm based in Manila, here in the Philippines, but working beyond our shores. Anna is trained in the West, but honed in Asia. She has had a 30-year experience of working from private homes all the way up to corporate headquarters and beyond, using the idea of expansive spaces, simple, well-done design with clarity and restraint. Welcome, Anna. Thank you for saying yes. I know this is painful, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We are doing this in the spirit of speaking to creative people who, in our opinion, are good at what they do and they are smart about it.
Wow, thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
I'm surprised to be here.
It's a short list. It's a short list. It's a short list. So I wanted to talk to you about what you've been up to, the last 30 some years. What are you still excited about? And really sort of pick apart the design process for you. So the first question I wanted to ask is, do you go back to projects that you've done in the past?
We do. Sometimes it's to, let's say, look at a detail we've done and to realize, oh, that's a really shitty detail. Why did we do that? And to make sure we don't do it again. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes it's to look at a space, the dimensions, the proportions, because, you remember that, oh, this space felt really good. Is this something we can, again, do somewhere else or learn from the way we did those proportions and see if we can adjust it, make it even better? So we do go back to old projects, definitely.
So in terms of proportion, scale, how big a part of that is vis-a-vis the creative process, and where do you start your process?
Every client has a list of areas, rooms, functional requirements that they want. Then you figure out, does all this work within this diagram, and does the flow work so that it brings out the best features of that property? And if the property has no interesting features, then you create those features. You create it through architecture, through internal landscaping maybe. But I always start from the inside.
Okay, that's very enlightening. With regards to, let's say, requirements, like owner requirements, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that every owner or every, home builder or owner of a property, owner of whether it's a private home or a building or a larger build, they all have requirements, right?
Mm-hmm.
How in your process, I guess, how do you manage these requirements? versus reality versus what you want to happen. Okay, because these are three different things. There's what you have, what exists, the extant, the parameters. Okay, so there are three. So there's the property and what we have to work with. There's the expectations and the requirements of the owner, the developer, and then there's your design ethos, process, what you want to happen. So this push and pull, how do you manage it?
Oh,
I know, sorry, we had to just dive deep into the heart of the
no,
matter.
it's just
But
it's. I've never even really thought about it because it's so hard to compartmentalize these things.
Yeah.
Because it kind of all happens and
At the same time.
overlaps and you don't know where one begins and where one ends. So yes, there are the requirements, and usually we can tell pretty early on, even when they're just listing the requirements, given, let's say, the site, given our understanding of, let's say, the boring stuff, height restrictions, building setbacks, etc., we already realize, teka muna, this isn't feasible. Everything they want is not feasible. But we tell the client, we'll try to do something where we try to incorporate everything you want, and we'll show you that this may not be ideal. This means that you have no more open space. This means you're sacrificing this or that. Then we will also do a layout where we try to reduce the elements that we feel are not really necessary. And then we show them, oh, but if we reduce this or take something out, this is what you gain in return. And I think it's a really...
that's so patient.
Yes.
That's a lot of patience.
Architecture is, you have to be really patient.
Yeah.
But because a lot of what we do is convincing a client to believe that what we are suggesting to them is what we feel is the right approach or the right direction.
Okay. Well, you convinced me many times over. Okay, so going back to your origin story, what kind of spaces did you grow up in? What moved you to become an architect or designer? Because I find that this is not a linear path.
No.
There needed to have been some kind of spatial introduction, or maybe like an experience, an introduction to space, an understanding of volume. And these things do not come naturally. They don't come naturally. So how was that? Like the first, I don't know, maybe 25 years of your life?
My family and I were moving around every 3 to 4 years because of my dad's job. So we were here, then we were in Hong Kong, we were in Japan, we were back here, etc. Each time we lived in different spaces, some apartments, some homes. I think what was wonderful for me was that my parents had really good taste. And so wherever we lived, we were just surrounded by a nice space or a nice, comfortable, aesthetically pleasing environment. Maybe a little too cluttered for my taste, but it was nice. So I think that was a great benefit that not everyone can have or can appreciate. But I do remember that the spaces that I loved the most, and I would say that it's just natural for people to love this, is spaces that make you feel that are expansive, that make you feel like, oh, there's space, you can breathe. Or for example, if you go to Japan and you go to many of those temples or even those traditional Japanese homes, there's barely anything there, right? There's the architecture, and there is just a strong correlation between the architecture and the living space, and then the views of what you see outside.
I was gonna say views.
Yeah, and that's it. No, and I'm not saying that where I grew up in was always like that. It usually wasn't, because my mom loves shopping like most Filipinos. They love adornment, but there was also the time, especially as we got older and my dad became a little bit more successful, that we stayed in bigger places, nicer homes, and therefore there was that opportunity to have that.
Okay. And how did you move into architecture?
Well, I've always I took up art history in college, so I was taking art-related courses, and I said, oh, let me take an architectural history course. Also, I was friendly with one or two architects in school, and I was pretty fascinated with what they were doing, but I didn't really know that much about it. So I took my first modern architectural history course, and the professor was amazing. And the first slide that came up in her very first class was Villa Savoie, from designed by Le Corbusier. And
Yes.
I looked at it and I said,
What is that?
that is so ugly. What the hell is that? Right? Then, so as the course sort of progressed, I became more and more fascinated, because what I saw in the beginning as just a jumble of forms started really having some meaning. And once I had that understanding, then I became so much more intrigued. It went from, what the hell is this? This is the most amazing
Oh, wow.
project, given my understanding of what it represented,
Right,
what he was
right.
able to do, especially at that time.
Right.
So that opened up a whole other world
Yeah.
for me.
So you move now into architecture. You do your undergrad. You take your master's. You do your grad school in architecture in the States, and you work there for a bit. Why do you come back?
Oh, we had this opportunity to do 4 houses in Singapore. And it was a client that approached us out of the blue. He actually, he was a Filipino-Chinese gentleman who had lived in Singapore for many years. He had 4 properties. He wanted to design a house for each one for him and his 3 children.
Okay.
And he wanted specifically Filipino architects, whether they were based here or whether they were based abroad. He wanted them to be Filipino. So he had chosen one architect for each project. And one thing led to another. We ended up with designing the four of them.
So you took over the 4.
Yeah. Now, and then I forgot what year it was. Then there was the major recession. And so he
this
put
was the
everything
great
on hold.
financial crisis. Was this
Yeah.
in the 90s?
In the
Yeah.
Yes, in the 90s.
97, yeah.
So then everything got put on hold, and it didn't ever continue. But when that was happening, we decided, why don't we put up a small satellite office in Manila? Because working on 4 houses all the way, at that time, I was already in Los Angeles, was a bit of a logistical problem. We didn't have email. We didn't have, everything was through fax. And if we had to send drawings, they had to be DHL'd or UPS or FedEx at the time. And just the logistics of it was complicated and expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
you
was the
moved
reason.
here
So I
because-
moved here just to set up a satellite office, just a small office. And I kept telling my partner, Jason, I'm only going to set it up and maybe I'll be here for a year or two, but I'm not staying. I want to be, I want to go back. Yeah.
And then what? Yeah,
And I stayed.
Here you are. Okay, so in that time, so we are now approaching.
It was every 2 years. I'm going back, I'm going
really?
back, and then I'm not going back.
So at what point were you not going to go back anymore? How many years?
I can't remember.
6 years, 8
Maybe
years,
6
10
to
years.
8 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you talk about that? Can you talk about I guess, what would you think good design is? What are your non-negotiables for creating spaces?
Okay, good design. That's such a personal.
Yeah. Well, every project that you do, you bring in. Okay, what are the things? Okay, let's rephrase the question. What are the principles that you apply or you try to apply to all your projects?
I think we try to have, as much as we can, we try to reflect a clear understanding of what it is we're doing. So I think, and I've always said this, creating is great and it's wonderful, but having the restraint to know what to take out of that creation in order to have clarity in what it is you're trying to do, that's the harder part. We try to do that with every project, if it's possible.
Yeah.
I think the dilemma in working in the Philippines is that people, culturally we're used to having a lot of different influences. Sometimes they get all jumbled together.
Mm-hmm. More is more.
More
That's
is
our culture.
more. I don't want to be sort of pretentious in saying that's not good.
Yeah.
That's what we are. That's been kind of in our DNA for the longest time. But so I think the difficulty for us has always been how to get clients to understand that we need to subtract sometimes. And that is a discussion, it's a dialogue, it's a disagreement. And
then, have you ever lost clients? Or
Oh,
have
yes,
you
yes.
ever agreed to just stop?
accommodate
Or
to
to
agree to
stop.
stop. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Not often, but
Yes.
it's happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Restraint. That's a big word.
Yes.
I think that's the hardest thing to ask a Pinoy to do. Tama na. Enough.
Yes.
Enough. Like,
Yeah.
we need to pull back. Let's give the space.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not
Don't be scared.
pile things. Yeah.
Don't be scared of an empty wall.
Yes.
Don't be scared of an empty space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we built our house, our house is now 13 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and Anna built the house, and we felt. Rachel was very, very clear in that we were not to touch Anna's idea for the house. So
Thank you, Rachel.
yes, it was very. I found it. I said, "But we're the clients." She goes, "Yes, but she's the architect, so let her figure it out."
Yeah.
And at the end of the design process, I remember asking you a question. When you propose, because the way she works is you talk to her, you give her what you want, and then she comes back with 2 ideas of what she
Yes.
thinks your space should be. And when it came to our house, so I looked at it. Well, first Rachel made this whole board about what she wanted the house to be. And I looked at it and I said, who are you going to live with? This looks like a mausoleum or a prison. It was concrete. It's a lot of concrete. It was a lot of like hard surfaces,
How
cold
exciting.
surfaces. So I'm just like, I don't know, what is this? And she's like, where are your ideas? I'm like, I don't have any. And I figure, Anna's a smart girl. Let her do what she does, right? So, at the end of it, we picked the first design, and we didn't really change much.
You didn't.
We didn't change anything. And so I asked Anna, does this happen? Like, do you get clients who don't change anything? So do you get clients? Or were we the only suckers who let you do, but to great joy?
The whole design process has changed so much over the years. So yes, we do get clients who've allowed us, or let's say, graciously taken in what we've presented to them and have gone with it. Joel, Benamira, and Marga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, you guys are also of a certain generation. Nowadays, it's a different world. People are so inundated with images. They're so inundated with they go online, they see projects. So many of them have nothing to do with each other, but they're just like, they bombard you with images that don't relate.
Yeah.
I love this, and this. Can I have it all? Okay. It's the generation of all. We end up having to be sort of the curators.
Right.
To try to
Or the
steer,
police.
to try to steer them into
the Baduy police.
Yeah, to steer them into a certain direction. While before, I feel there was, and also with computer renderings, everything wants to see literal images. While before you could do a sketch that implied,
right,
rather than a rendering that gave you a literal translation of what you will see.
Yeah.
So it's a very different process now.
But it feels like that's a lot of filtering that you need to do. And
It's a lot of filtering, so you lose your control.
Yeah.
You do lose the control.
But are you able to pull them in, to rein them in?
I would say that luckily, maybe 80% of the time, but sometimes we really can't.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're so deep into this that it's not fair to the client to just say enough.
Yeah.
And we have to forge ahead.
Yeah.
But that's how it is now.
So I guess the answer is there are a few, but most everybody has their ideas of what they want to do.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone wants everything.
Everyone wants everything. Oh my God. I think life is more successful when you have little things.
Yes.
A few good things.
Yes.
And
yes. I think
let's talk about that. A few good
things. Well, for example, if you are an artist and you have let's say you have a commission work and you have a client who's telling you, no, I want the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like shape the nose like this and make the ear like that.
Yeah.
I mean, And I think people have forgotten that with architecture, you have to give us the space
Right.
to do what we feel needs to be done.
I've come into houses. I mean, the houses that I've been in that you've designed, there is a certain push and pull between scale and the human body. So, how do you approach spaces? If you're going to do a private home versus a building, do you? Yeah. What is your? I mean, okay, you have a diagram, you have your flow, you've got the needs of the client, you've got sort of maybe future proofing, but like, how do you use scale in your work? When does it come in?
Oh, it comes in pretty early on.
Like this space.
Yeah.
Like
And,
when I saw this space, so Anna also designed Silverlens, the existing Silverlens, and we made this in 2016. 2016. So it's like we have to do a project with Anna every 3 years. So 2009, we did something in the first Silverlens. Then 2012, we did our house. 2016, we did this space. But when I saw the floor plan of this space, I had no concept of volume.
right.
And when I saw the volume, when the volume was made, I was really quite pleased. I was super happy that it came as an absolute delight. So, scale. So when does that come in?
Very early on. And scale, I think it's something that you also learn in time. Because it's very different. One can never imagine, no matter what, whether you're looking at a sketch or a realistic computer rendering, it's still very different from the experience when you're in that actual space. So it comes with age and a certain maturity.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like the spaces that you've made, the projects or the homes there's always a sense of reveal. There's a reveal, which I think is, there's almost like there's a narrative arc to the space. There's this beginning, there's an introduction, and then it moves you into a larger space and pulls you. I mean, and I think that lyricism is probably why we wanted to work with you, because the house is revealed or the space is revealed as you experience it, rather than you walk in and you know exactly this is a 4-bedroom house. With
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah. So I enjoy that very much with
Yes.
your designs. Architectural influences other than Le Corbusier.
Yeah, I get it. There are influences from everywhere. But when I'm really stuck, I still go back. I'll go back and I'll pull out a Mies van der Rohe book and just sort of, just to remind myself, there's so much clarity here. How do I get back to this, right?
Clarity. That's a big word. Clarity and restraint.
Yeah.
That's like life lessons.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you describe your work? Like, what is the?
I don't know.
I mean, when we were starting to learn about you, it's like, oh, it's modern Filipino. I'm like, what's that?
But it's
like
not.
a bahay na bato, but
Yeah.
it's
But it's not.
But it's not.
Yeah.
So, do you think of yourself as an architect, a Filipino architect, or do you just think of yourself as an architect?
I guess as an architectural designer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay,
I wouldn't say necessarily Filipino. I'm just, I was trained internationally, but a lot of our work has been here.
right.
Thankfully, but I just design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, like geography, location, history, culture, heritage. We are in the Philippines, and this is
Yes.
also a question that's constantly asked of us. It's like, what makes your work Filipino? What makes your artist Filipino? What makes your artists global? Like, how does one sort of move from one to the other? And I'm just thinking, we don't really think of it that way. It's just a good artist is a good artist. A good architect or a good designer is a good designer. And,
Yeah.
maybe the influences have that path. Like, you can see where the influences came from. But ultimately, the implementation, the process, the final object is, a culmination of many, many ideas, experiences, restraint, clarity. So yeah, I feel like when we work with artists, and now I'm talking about what we do in the gallery, like when we work with artists, we're not necessarily looking for people, oh, this looks like a Philippine artist, or this looks like a Thai artist, or it's like we're just looking for good artists who just
Yes.
happen to be,
Yes. No, I agree.
yeah.
Absolutely. Why do you need to peg
Because
someone?
people need an entry point. They need an access. They need an idea to access and to hold on to and to talk about.
I see.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's also a point of how do I say, it's a learning, that you can be an architect working with amazing ideas, or a designer, an artist working with amazing ideas, and you can be situated anywhere.
Yes.
And in fact, a lot of global artists or global designers, global architects, their work probably started somewhere, but they moved somewhere else, and now they've completely decentralized, and now they have become their own ecosystem where people go to if they want that.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you think you would move anywhere, or
At
you're-
this point in my life?
Yeah,
No.
you're here.
I'm here.
So there's a question here which I think we've already answered, but the question is, if your work could quietly change one thing about how people live, what would you want that to be? And I think restraint and clarity
Yeah.
is super important. And actually, when people walk into our spaces, whether it's our workspace, the gallery, or our home space, they don't have the words for it, but there is a sense of grounding that immediately happens. That, oh, I'm in a gallery, or I'm supposed to look at art, or, oh, I'm in this space, and this space is allowing me to be whatever I want to be. It's giving me space to decompress.
Yes.
And I think that's
Yeah.
a feeling.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling. You want to talk about feelings? How do you want people to feel when they walk into your house?
Exactly that. Yeah.
Okay. How can one make a space look expensive without making it expensive?
I think if a space has really nice flow, if it brings in, especially a residential space, if you have flow, is not just movement through the space, your movement, it's movement of light, it's movement of air. It's a space that breathes. That doesn't cost a lot to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why it's so important for me, going like full circle. What's the diagram? What's the layout? Because that is the most important starting point in order to capture all those things that you
Right.
want to happen within that
Right.
space.
Well, it also means that you need to spend on the materials that will give you that space, that will give you that flow. I think.
It can be just concrete walls, but
Well done.
openings,
Yeah.
openings that make sense,
Yeah.
openings that contribute or emphasize whatever it is you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
How important are details? Detailing.
Very important, very important. And that is actually the strength of Jason. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He is the detail king. It is very important, and we're constantly learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the biggest mistake people make when designing homes?
Well, I think one thing I mentioned is looking at too many images, half of them AI generated, so it's not even reality, you know. Yeah. Also, I think on a more practical note, because we're Filipino, we always think of our family, our extended family. We always think that our children are going to live with us forever and ever. So when they come to us and want us to design a home, sometimes there's just too many rooms, too many requirements. They just assume that their children will be there
Right.
forever.
Right. Right. Or that their children will want these rooms,
Yeah.
you know.
But I think architecture should always be kind of fluid, and whether it's built for a certain lifestyle now, one can never predict what will happen in the future.
Right.
And so you can't, it's really hard to plan so far ahead because you
Right.
can't control life that way.
Right. No, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
You know, when we built our house, sorry, I keep talking about the house because I love our house. I mean, and the house is constantly surprising me in ways that it can be used, you know, and that I think that's architecture and fluidity. They're sort of incongruent ideas.
Yes and no.
Yes.
Yes.
But your houses do feel that. Like we can rearrange the furniture, we can do things, we can change things up, we can live differently. And I remember when we first built the house and we had, you know, friends and family over and sort of introducing them to the house. The house was like, we need to introduce you to our house. You know, it was something. Yeah, it was a thing. Because it was so different. It was so
Yes.
different. And, you know, it's like, of course, the older generation, they'll walk in and they're like, where's your formal dining room?
Dining room, yeah.
You know, or where is your kitchen?
Yeah.
Like you're standing in it. But where is it? You know, or where are your guest bedrooms? You know, what about this? What about, and I'm just like, then I realized that they were all thinking of not necessarily how we were going to live in the house, but who would want to buy the house after we were done with it.
Yes, that's the other thing.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I don't think we're going to sell the house. You know, it will be many, many years. But once we do, we will find that one couple who want a one-bedroom house.
Yes.
Right? It's sort of, in one way, it limits the pool, but it also elevates it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's this thing about I need to have a 4-bedroom house because it will sell more easily than a 2-bedroom house. And I get it. Property values are so expensive here, and so people are always thinking of their maximum returns. And therefore, I also need to build a full basement and maximize every inch of this property because the property value is so high. I guess it's similar to you and the art world. Someone will go, which artist should I buy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is the up and coming?
Who's the up and coming so that, you know,
Yeah.
10 years down the road when I buy this, when I sell this artwork,
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
get
make-
my maximum
Yes.
returns. It's kind of sad.
Okay, you shouldn't say that.
Okay, is sad
But
the
it's
wrong
true.
word? It's practical, but it takes the fun out of
Yeah.
it takes the whole fun out of why you do this in the first place.
Yeah,
Why do
yeah,
you
yeah.
buy art in the first place?
Yeah.
It's supposed to make you happy,
Right.
right?
Right.
Your home is supposed to make you feel a certain way and make you feel comfortable.
Right. Yeah, no, I absolutely. Yeah, the house, our house, we are still discovering parts of the house that we never used, and fun. Fun is for me at the moment. Fun is having a lot of time to do nothing.
Yes.
Like
Well, for busy people like you and I, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I feel that having a space wherein you come into it and you decompress immediately and you can take a nap anywhere. That's what I love about my house. There are couches everywhere and I nap everywhere. So it's not formal that way.
Yes.
But people seem to think you're a very formal person. But I think maybe you come across, but your designs and the way you make spaces are actually very warm and very, very, like you think about the people who are going to be using the space. So do you want to talk about that?
I think your house
So now we have to show pictures of our house.
and
Okay.
maybe a handful of houses.
And maybe a handful of other houses.
Other
that she
houses
made.
are similar to your experience, but we have also done some much more formal houses because that's what was required. Yeah. But given a choice, I would always gravitate towards the
Yeah.
kind of house we've done for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One last question. What are you excited about? Are you still excited? What are you excited about? Tell me. Share this fountain of hope, youth, and discovery.
Oh, I always get excited when we come across a client who is similar to the clients we used to have.
Okay.
Right? The
Which
ones who
are?
actually, well, like you guys, who actually understand that, wait a minute, we have to give her space, give them space to do what they
Yeah.
need to do. Let's try not to dictate so much everything that we want. Let's see.
Yeah.
Right? Then we get excited.
Yeah.
We get super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's true. We also just finished a new space here at the Den called at Silverlens called the Silverlens Den, which Anna also made. And I was telling Rachel, Anna's super busy. Why would she want to take on this extension? But she said yes, and it looks great, and everyone thinks it's like so social, but it's really
It's not.
I-beams painted
Yes,
a certain
exactly.
color,
Exactly.
and it's all in the detail, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I will
So-
always say yes to the two of you.
Oh, thanks. Maybe
Because you understand what we go through. You understand
Yeah.
the process.
No, and the
Yeah.
process is something that we have to go through. But yes, so thank you for saying yes to us all the time. Even to this, I know this is really outside of your comfort zone. And
Yes, it
Rachel
is.
wishes she would be here. She could be here, but she left for Hong Kong today.
Oh, okay.
But there's something I've asked of all the guests for this season, and it has to do with the heritage of smallness. And I feel like you don't have it, but many architects or many creative people are limited by by their comfort zone. And the heritage of smallness is okay na tayo dito. Like, I don't really want to do bigger projects. I don't really have any big ambitions. I'm just really happy with my small circle, and I really don't want to rock the boat. So, is this something you've ever thought about, or is this something you see in your young architects or young designers?
I've never thought of that.
Good for you. You've never encountered it?
No.
Oh, good for you. I encounter it all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Anything? Do you want any last words?
Thank you, Isa.
Thank you, Anna. And this wraps up our today's talk with Anna C., creative of CS Designs, based here in Manila, but doing projects many other places. She is our architect, and we love all the spaces that she's made for us. Thank you to her. Thank you to Jason, the other person not here. Thank you to Rachel, the other person also not here, who has been part of this journey. Thank you. I'm Isa Lorenzo, and see you next time.
Creative Encounters with Isa Lorenzo is a Silverlens Gallery production produced by Manila Media. The Manila Media team is led by executive producer Ella Evangelista Martelino, creative director Leo Sanchez Matias, producers Dred Irum and Mel Lozano, associate producer Christine Parafina. At Silverlens, our thanks to co-director Rachel Rillo, the entire Silverlens Gallery's team, and hair and makeup artist Pia Reyes for making this series possible. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like, subscribe, and follow at Silverlens Galleries on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more inspiring conversations on art, design, and culture. Until our next creative encounter,